Venom: The Last Dance caps off the trilogy of Sony's sometimes silly symbiote films, and this one's full of some cosmic and multiversal shenanigans. Who's all coming to the last dance? Here's what we know from the first trailer. Ted Lasso ended when its third season came to a close in May 2023. You probably wouldn't have picked Venom: The Last Dance as a venue for a first cast reunion, and yet the new trailer features two major players from the Apple TV Plus hit: Juno Temple, who played Keely Jones, and Cristo Fernandez, who played AFC Richmond star Danny Rojas. Temple's Venom character is a mystery right now, though there are some rumors about who she's playing, and we'll get to them. In the trailer, we see her conducting science experiments of some sort on captured symbiotes in a secret government facility, alongside Chiwetel Ejiofor's character. Fernandez's character is even more of a mystery. If you saw Spider-Man: No Way Home and stuck around for the post-credit scene, you'll recognize him as a bartender who serves Eddie Brock. That scene takes place on Earth 616 in the MCU, because Eddie is briefly pulled out of his own reality by the spell cast by Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. However, in the Venom: The Last Dance trailer, Fernandez appears in his bar alongside Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, who's supposedly from Eddie's universe. After all, Ejiofor is already Baron Mordo in the MCU's main universe, and at least one other universe.
The Illuminati will see you now.
The Illumawati?
In the post-credit scene for 2021's Venom: Let There Be Carnage, both Eddie and his symbiote companion were suddenly pulled into Earth 616, aka the Marvel Cinematic Universe we all know and love. Those who saw Spider-Man: No Way Home later that same year surely remember that this was caused by Peter Parker's multiverse meddling, and that Eddie presumably spent the entirety of the film's events drowning his astonishment in what appeared to be an island resort.
Señor, he made my family disappear. For 5 years.
5 years?
After a brief conversation with a bartender who's been hilariously traumatized by Thanos, played by Ted Lasso alum Cristo Fernandez, he was sent back to the Sonyverse almost as suddenly as it left it, leaving behind a threatening-looking glob of symbiote goo. At the time, it seemed like this might have been Sony and Marvel Studios finding a way to get Holland's Spider-Man a black suit of his own. But in the trailer for The Last Dance, Chiwetel Ejiofor's yet-to-be-revealed military antagonist is seen tracking down that very glob to the island resort. Fernandez's bartender can even be seen in one shot. But is he the same man reeling from the blip? One possible explanation is that the two people, and by extension, the locations they inhabit, are merely identical variants coexisting in the same multiverse. When Eddie was brought back to the Sonyverse, it's certainly plausible he left another glob of Venom lying around. Barring a reveal that Ejiofor is actually playing Baron Mordo or any other multiversal shenanigans, this is most likely the explanation Sony is going with.
Let's go get him.
Venom: The Last Dance features symbiotes from beyond the stars, so it only makes sense that the song played over the movie's trailer is a version of David Bowie's Space Oddity. Released just months after the first moon landing in 1969, the song's space-age sound makes anything feel possible, be it alien invasions, moon landings, or Eddie Brock winning for real. Eddie and Venom are saddling up for one big final battle, at least as final as one can be for a Marvel antihero. Eddie warns Venom this could be the fight that they don't come out of alive. The same is true for Major Tom, the main character of Space Oddity. An astronaut who has tasted too much fame drifts out into space while his ground control team warns him that his signal is dead and something's wrong. Still, Major Tom bids his wife and world farewell and floats out into the great beyond, for better or for worse. Will Eddie Brock find himself in a similar position? Or did the producers of the trailer simply choose an iconic tune about the cosmos? Either way, one thing is for sure about Venom: The Last Dance. Something odd is definitely going on in space. Venom: The Last Dance plays coy with its main villain, but the trailer shows symbiotes dropping down from Earth as fiery asteroid-like objects crashing on the planet, with Venom himself referencing his otherworldly home.
My home has found us.
While the result of the crashes is likely the outbreak of attacking xenophages in the bigger picture, the aliens' arrivals may suggest an even darker force at play in Knull, the god of symbiotes. Debuting in Venom Volume 4, Issue 3, Knull is Marvel's King in Black, a primordial force birthed alongside the creation of the seventh cosmos, with the supervillain serving as a creator of symbiotes and the wielder of All Black the Necrosword, the same weapon used by Gore the God Butcher. Knull controlled symbiotes across the universe until his connection was eventually severed, as they rebelled against him and trapped him for thousands of years. He is reawakened in the present day, leading to an all-out assault on Earth during the King in Black event, sending his army of symbiotes at Earth's mightiest heroes, successfully transforming several major characters into his pawns. Knull is so powerful that when Sentry, arguably the strongest hero in the multiverse, tries to kill him, he responds by ripping the Golden Guardian in half. It would take Eddie Brock everything he had, including becoming the God of Light with a major cosmic upgrade, to stop him. Introducing Knull would be a wild development for the third installment of the Venom franchise, but considering it's the final movie in the trilogy, bringing Knull into the fold is exactly the kind of crazy swing that could lead to a satisfying and bombastic conclusion. Seemingly serving as a swan song for Venom, or at least the version of the alien anti-hero that fans have come to know and love, it goes without saying that The Last Dance will need to pay off everything the previous films set up so far. Fortunately, there are strong hints that the threequel will be doing just that, with the character of Detective Patrick Mulligan, played by Stephen Graham, who is seen trapped in a containment cell.
As long as Venom lives, everyone, everything will end.
In the comics, Mulligan eventually becomes a host of Carnage's spawn Toxin, effectively making him Brock's symbiote grandchild. Like his father, Toxin has a, toxic relationship with Venom, and is tremendously stronger than any other symbiote that came before him in his lineage. Graham's Detective Mulligan was last seen essentially left for dead in the cathedral where Carnage and Venom had their own last dance, with Mulligan suffering harsh torture from the former's lover/partner in crime, Shriek.
I killed you. You can't kill a ghost.
Though it isn't immediately clear how, his interaction with her appears to have had a lasting effect on Mulligan even after her death, with his eyes ominously glowing green in one of the film's final shots. How, or if this will tie into his Toxin transformation, remains to be seen. But his presence in the trailer seemingly teases some kind of dangerous metamorphosis for the character. Arguably, the most surprising shot in this trailer lasts less than a second and features a startling blink-and-you'll-miss-it cameo from Rhys Ifans. Ifans previously played the dual roles of Dr. Curt Connors and the Lizard in 2012's The Amazing Spider-Man, and most recently reprised both in the MCU feature Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Hey, Dr. Connors.
Hello, Peter.
While this Dr. Connors wielding a guitar with two hands could signal this is a variant of some kind, it's worth recalling that Holland and Andrew Garfield's Peter Parkers did manage to reverse his lizard transformation. But we never see for sure if his regenerated arm was reversed as well. Which brings us to one key question. Will this make any kind of multiversal sense whatsoever? The answer is, kind of. Ifans' Dr. Connors being in the Sonyverse squares with the internal logic established by Michael Keaton's Vulture during the post-credit scene of Morbius.
I'm not sure how I got here. Has to do with Spider-Man, I think.
If we're adopting the premise that Holland's Parker actually didn't send all the villains back to their own universe, it's equally plausible that Dr. Connors wound up in Venom's world rather than his amazing home. It would certainly explain why he seems so happy, as a cross-country road trip surely beats the prison cell that otherwise awaited him. As we mentioned, Juno Temple plays an as-yet unnamed character in the film. She can be seen arriving at an undercover facility where symbiotes are in containment and appears to be deeply involved in the experiments. She's also pretty invested in keeping them out of the public eye.
And it's our job to make sure that remains a secret.
When Temple was cast, a common guess of who she plays was the symbiote Scream. In the comics, Scream, created by David Michelinie and Ron Lim, is one of the most recognizable symbiotes, with her eye-catching yellow and red look serving in stark contrast to Venom's black and white appearance. While there have been a few hosts for Scream, the main one is Donna Diego, a volunteer with the Life Foundation, whose symbiote are among a handful split from Venom. In the trailer, Temple's character can be seen with a scar on her neck that looks like the beginnings of a symbiote taking over its host. She observes multiple symbiote samples, with one giving off a yellow hue, a similar color to Scream. While the scene doesn't confirm Scream is coming to Venom: The Last Dance, introducing the fan-favorite symbiote in the last hurrah of the franchise as a scientist-turned-symbiote would offer a deserved showcase for a character audiences haven't seen before. She could assist or be a major thorn to Venom's side as a symbiote invasion breaks out on Earth. Venom: The Last Dance hits theaters on October 25th, 2024.